When I turn on the news and see all the natural disasters and conflict around the world, I wonder how I can be better prepared spiritually and psychologically to handle whatever comes. Okay? Well, a couple of things. Number one, in terms of what you're viewing, realize that regardless of what we see in the world, regardless on a macro or microcosmic level, large or small, regardless of our opinions or feelings about what we see in the world, it's important to never lose sight of the ultimate truth that everything is happening in God's perfection. It is all unfolding according to God's will, at the level of the absolute, of course. It doesn't mean God wants people killing each other, but everything is subservient to the Creator. Things that are happening that are unkind and unloving and out of integrity, God is allowing them because they are serving a purpose that we may not individually see, know, understand, or believe, but they are all intricate and infinite cogs in the larger machine called God's will for creation. And they have interrelated parts that we can't see the whole operation. So it does help to keep one door in the foot of sanity by way of always remembering this inalienable truth that everything everywhere is unfolding in the perfect tapestry of God's will, place, and timing. Now, the other thing that's important to see is while a lot of people, focus on this needs to stop and we need to change and the people need to stop, blah, 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 and the list is endless. All that judging and hypothesizing and finger pointing and the whole we talk, it doesn't really make a lot of impact. That's just hot air. What makes an impact is how you are changing your own life, behavior, ways of being, belief systems to become kinder, purer, more loving. That's how you have the greatest impact on the world and can help things change. Like when you see an oil spill, or when you see, waste, or when you see people throwing stuff away, tons of food being wasted, or these drift nets that are, well, now they don't call them drift nets anymore. They just attach the same net to the side of the boat. They're still drift nets that are emptying all the oceans. People don't make they do not equate through their ignorance of the law of one that everything is all interconnected and affecting each other. Everything and everyone is affecting each other all the time. So when you go and order 4 times the amount of food you can eat at a meal and throw it in the basket, the trash, or put it in the fridge with no intention of ever eating the leftovers or giving them to your dog or give them away to somebody, you are in effect creating the waste on the larger level. You are part of what created the deep sea trawlers throwing away 90% of their catch because they only wanted mackerel, but they're sweeping the whole sea empty and throwing away 20 tons of fish that will not even be sold. They'll just be dumped dead back into the ocean, including dolphins and whales they catch in their nets. You're actually creating that by throwing away the food at your house. So when you see an oil tanker run aground and dump 11 million gallons and you're cursing Exxon and Mobil and those oil companies and why are we on fossil fuels? If you're the person who takes your cigarette container and dumps your ashtray on the side of the freeway when you pull over, or throws food in the movie cinema, throws all your food and wrappers on the floor, you created the oil spill. And you say, oh, that's being dramatic, that's exaggerating. No, it's not at all. Not one iota is it exaggerating. They are one and the same. And conversely, you also have the power to stop those by changing your behaviors. Stop throwing away food and wasting it. Stop overeating. Stop throwing trash. And all these other things get affected. And as each person takes on that it's all up to me principle and starts making their own habits more pristine, that reflects out in the world. And as you become an example, which then becomes a demonstration and then becomes a model of behavior, that starts influencing more and more people without you saying a word. You don't have to lobby for anything or carry a sign or picket or mail flyers. You just be it and become it. And you become the change, then the model, the demonstration, then the model, and then other people start changing by watching you and being inspired by you, being impressed by it, being transformed by it. And then at some point, you have the 100th monkey principle, whereby things start appearing in the collective and they change. And then you have eventually collective critical mass when you cross the 50-yard line, and then it's global consciousness, that it's affected everywhere. And that's how most of these ills in the planet will be eradicated. Not by, someone getting all angry and fighting. Though victories can be had that way too. It's just slower and harder, and it's much more costly. Costly to your sanity, to your health, to those around you. The most powerful, alchemically impactful, quickest way to affect change in the world is to change it within yourself. So, and the other really important principle, the third really important principle, is understanding, I just had it a second ago. It just popped right out of my head. I talked about happening in perfection, be the change, yourself, and then you're asking about being prepared spiritually and psychologically to handle whatever comes. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Thank you. Okay. So, remembering there's a principle, I want to speak about the concept of natural disasters and earth changes. I've spoken about this principle a lot before, but for those who might not have heard me say it over the years or written it, there is a fulcrum. Mother Earth is the embodiment of God. She is the divine incarnation of, some say Divine Mother, but let's just say God incarnate is the earth. And if you want to call her Divine Mother, that's great. That works too. So we'll call her Divine Mother. She is the female aspect of the Godhead itself personified. And she is couching us and holding us, wayward children, who are fumbling and finding their way to truth, to unconditional love. So it's like we're like in kindergarten class here on earth as the kindergarten school. So she tolerates our wayward behaviors and our fumbling, ignorant ways until we awaken to the truth and can walk in this world as unconditional love. Now, there are limits that she will allow, like any parent. They'll allow behaviors to go left and right and askew just a certain amount.